Something that's been coming up a lot lately on the socials is you're not everyone's cup of tea. And I experienced this recently, actually with a family member. And it wasn't that I'm not their cup of tea, it's just they just don't understand what I'm doing. And so we were out to dinner the other night, and this family member's like, yeah, I've been following you on socials, but I don't understand what you're doing. So I just can't watch anymore. And I got this huge smile on my face. And I was like, that's okay, don't. And they said, yeah, I can't watch you anymore. And I'm not sure, I'm sure it's Facebook, and just my snippets. Maybe it was about my airline stuff. And sometimes I'll repost things. So maybe he was just seeing I don't know what he was seeing. To be honest, I'm not even gonna go down the rabbit hole of trying to understand what he was seeing and what it was about what I was posting that he just couldn't watch anymore. Just can't watch it anymore. But it brought up a really important conversation that someone else brought up later in the dinner, and they were saying it about themselves. They're like, yeah, I'm just not everyone's favorite person or a cup of tea. I can't remember how they worded it, but it's this whole thing that so many people are recognizing and realizing right now in the world, I think, that I'm not meant for everybody. What I say, my opinions, what I talk about, why I'm on social media, just my personality, my character, everything. I'm just not for everyone. And that's okay. If I'm not for you, keep scrolling. Go watch a different video. Why I'm on here and what I'm doing is not for everyone, and they're not going to understand it. And I feel like a year ago, hearing a family member say something like that to me would have really disheartened me and made me maybe not even post for a day or two. But what it shows me is that I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer to the people who are meant to find me. Because when you start clearing out the people that aren't meant for you, that aren't meant to hear what you have to say, that are, want to dim your light. I'm not saying this person was saying that, but it's clearing out the people that aren't meant for you to make room for the people who are meant for you. And again, like I was saying, a year ago, I feel like that would have derailed me. And now that I've been on this journey of self-discovery and really trying to find my community, my people, those who I'm attracted to, I feel like those who are not meant to be in my life, digitally or in person, are going to start falling away. And those who are meant to come to me are going to start coming to me. And it's really important to be okay with that. So the fact that he said that to me and I got a big old smile on my face, and I was like, then don't watch. And he goes, I know, I don't. And I'm like, cool. Like, I'm okay with that. There's certain people that want, I don't know, you to tell a certain story, or just want to understand everything that you're going through and don't understand why you're sharing it on the internet. And it's like, because I don't have the same situation as you. I don't have the same story as you. I don't need to be quiet as you. And I realized too that generation of people, the older generation, they grew up in this era of like silence. They grew up in what happens in the house stays in the house. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You've heard that. What happens in the community stays in the community. What happens in the church stays in the church. And I think it's very what's the word I'm looking for? I think it's hard for them to see people they know telling stories on the internet, because they're like, whoa, what are they talking about? Why are they on the internet? Why are they telling this story about their day in Bali or their day coming home? Or, that's stuff you don't share. You don't share with anyone. We just don't talk about that kind of stuff. And so it's like I'm stepping out of that mold of what happens in Bali stays in Bali. What happens on the airplane stays on the airplane. I'm telling stories. I'm telling about my feelings. I'm coming on here and telling the world that, like, I'm not for everybody. And I think it's a bit harder for the older generation to see that. They don't understand why we need to tell our stories. And especially as women, I feel like we need to tell our stories. We need to tell the lessons we've been learning. Just like this lesson I'm learning. I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. Yeah, that's the lesson right there. I'm not for everybody, and it's okay. And I think that for a lot of people in your circles, in your tighter circles, in your family circles, they don't understand that. And also, I don't need to explain it. I feel like their reaction to what I'm doing on the internet, or not the internet, but like social media, them not understanding it, it's okay. They don't need to understand it. And I don't need to be upset and explain it. And that was really cool. That was a really cool realization, I think, for both of us, to be honest. Because now they can move on with their day. They can not feel bad about not watching me on Instagram. And I can not feel bad. I mean, I didn't feel bad, but I can... It's almost like they needed to unload that they are not watching me and maybe feel bad about not watching me. And I gave them permission to, like, not watch me. It's okay. You don't need to watch me. I don't need you to understand what I'm doing, and I don't need your support. I'll get support from those who do understand what's happening, what's going on, how I'm changing as a person, what that means for my community and the people who choose to be around me. It's very interesting. It's just very funny. It's very funny that, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to watch me. I'm going to be okay. So for those of you here watching me, thank you for being here. And for those of you who have probably scrolled 1 second in, like, I'm so glad you're making room for those who are meant to be here. So I hope that resonates with some people. And yeah, I just keep thinking, haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate. That's okay. Even though this person totally loves me, they just don't understand what's going on. And that's cool. So anyway, I hope you have an excellent day. Thank you for being here. And that's my story. Talk to you tomorrow.